This video is sponsored by Dola. So the last two videos around this topic did quite well, so I thought let's make another one, but better. So I spent the last few days handpicking 100 different vertical B2B AI startups to figure out which industries are leading and what different patterns and insights are showing up. So I pulled this from multiple directories and sources to make sure that data wasn't biased toward one source, if that makes any sense. So just to start from the top, vertical AI startups are startups built specifically for one industry, like construction, logistics, healthcare, and so on. So in the past 2 years, we have been seeing this massive wave of vertical AI startups. For example, from this 100 AI startups, I have found that 24 startups alone are from healthcare, which is 24%, and then followed by legal with 13 startups. These are the two industries I have found almost on every source and directories. If you look at other industry reports, you can clearly see that healthcare and legal are leading in AI adoption and spending. Over a third of the startups from this list are just from these two industries. And if you add insurance, accounting, and financial services, you're already around half. And if you notice, all these are highly regulated industries where you have to deal with heavy paperwork. For example, in healthcare, we have clinical notes, lab reports, prior auth forms, and in legal, we have contracts, case laws, fillings, and in insurance and finance, we have policies, claims, KYC packs, risk models. So you get the point. So basically, these are industries where the primary raw material is text, forms, and rules. On the top of that, they also require expensive specialists like doctors, lawyers, actuaries, and etc. So even a 10 to 20% time saving from AI becomes a real ROI. That's why domain-specific data and workflows are becoming the new competitive modes, where you have access to specialized clinical or legal data, a strong understanding of local rules and tricky edge cases, and finding workflows that fit naturally into how these professionals already work. If you look at some example, we have a breach, which works with clinical conversations and medical documentation. Second is Harvey, which helps law firms or lawyers with contracts and case law. And then third one is Endem. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Endem, which automates claims and underwriting flows. So these startups are solving regulatory complexity for their customers. But if you are the one who is building these companies, you can face your own mountain of regulatory complexities, like setting up LLC formation, IRS compliances, bookkeeping, taxes, and etc. And that's why Dula can help. Sponsored for today's video. They are basically business in a box for digital founders. If you are building something online, they can help you open your company in United States without you having to figure out all those complicated backend stuff yourself. They get you set up with a US LLC, an EIN, and a US business bank account, even if you're in the US or literally anywhere else in the world. Now, why does this actually matter for a founder? Well, having a US LLC unblocks professionals' payment tools like Stripe, Mercury, so you don't have to run into payments declines or messy currency issues. And if you're already based in US, it can also help you access proper business banking and even premium credit cards like American Express. On the top of that, there are also tax benefits too. You can claim business write-offs and in some cases choose structures like an S-Corp to optimize how you are taxed. And if you're outside the US, most LLC are set up in a way that you are not automatically double taxed by the US. The income usually passes through to you directly. Now, starting an LLC is just one step, but staying compliant is a real hurdle, like annual reports, tax fillings, and ongoing state requirements. IRS can fine up to $25,000 just for missing paperwork deadlines. That's why Dula's premium plan acts like a compliance insurance. They can provide dedicated human bookkeeper and handles all those fillings for you. You can use the link in the description or use my code MARINMIND10 to get 10% discount. Or you can scan this QR code as well. It's risk-free with money back guarantee. And if you're still not sure which path is right for you, you can even book a free demo with their team to get one-on-one walkthrough of the platform. Quick disclaimer, starting a business involves risk, and this isn't legal or financial advice. Please consult a professional for your specific situation. Thanks to Dula for sponsoring this video. Now, back to the video. Now, here's the graph. Startups categorized by primary sector. As you can see, healthcare is at the top, then legal, followed by construction, financial services, and then you've got R&D, insurance, and after that, it kind of spread thin between 1 or 3 startups per industry. In that data set, I also added secondary sector within each primary one. So basically what specific work they do within that industry. And based on that, I also found that most of these vertical AI startups fall into 5 product types. The first one is AI researchers and knowledge analysts with 25 plus startups. These platforms deals with massive amounts of messy, unstructured technical content, things like case laws, medical journals, regulatory fillings, and research papers. And they use large language models to actually reason over it, search through it, even help you draft content. It's like a high-powered assistant. For example, in science and R&D, we have Answer This, which is an AI research assistant that digs through over 300 million papers to give you clear-sighted answers fast. And in legal, we have Harvey, which I actually talked about earlier, which helps lawyers and firms with research, document reviews, and drafting. Now the second category, which is the vertical infra or data mode. These companies are building picks and shovels of AI era. the core infrastructure that makes everything else possible. That includes things like robotics, data leveling, governance tools, security guardrails, and specialized developer tools. For example, Skilled AI is building a general-purpose AI brain for robotics so they can perceive, adapt, and operate in real world without being programmed for every single task. Pretty cool, I like this one. And then there is Chalk AI, is a real-time data and feature platform for machine learning and AI models. Now the third category is AI front office and voice agent. So these startups act like a digital front desk. They speak directly with customers over voice or chat, handling things like scheduling, answering basic questions, and routing people to the right place. For example, we have Arini, which is an AI receptionist for dental clinics. It handles all the calls and appointments. And next one is Bravey. It offers AI voice and chat assistants for home service companies. Now the fourth one, the AI Ops and Workflow Orchestrator. So this is a big one. We've got 20 plus startups in this category. So these are like your operational project manager. You give it a job like pay this invoice, hire this person, process these claims, and it handles all those steps across systems. It runs checks, update records, and follow-ups until everything is done. And humans only steps in for exceptions and approvals. For example, in healthcare, we have Codes Health. So it spots which claims our insurers are likely to reject and writes appeal paperwork for you. And in supply chain, we have Diderio AI. It manages all those back and forth with vendors when you need quotas. And in construction, we have Merlin AI, a central AI system that keeps construction companies' jobs and budgets moving. Now the last category, and definitely the least, because it has the least number of startups in this category among the 5. It's called AI Scribe and Note Taker. So these tools plug into everyday conversations like meetings, doctor visits, field calls, and with permission, it's automatically turned that messy back and forth into clean, structured records. Think like EHR notes or CRM updates. For example, we have a breach and Nabla, which uses AI to listen to doctor-patient conversations and automatically turn them into clean, structured medical records and summaries. But there are some startups that doesn't quite fit in any of these 5 archetypes. For example, Rila, it's for companies who sell offline, like roofing sales, field services, that kind of thing. So it's record face-to-face conversations and tells manager who are sticking to the script. That one feels a little intense, very micromanager energy. Now, we will put this in the interesting category. Another one is Sizekick, an AI sizing recommendations for fashion e-commerce. It uses body scans to tell you if the shirt will fit or not. It's pure computer vision and doesn't use any LLM in their product. And actually, there are a few companies on this list are like that. They launched way before ChatGPT launched, and when ChatGPT launched, most of them added LLM in their products. Some of them made it core features, others just tacked it on as something useful, and some didn't use LLMs at all. So now let's talk about weird and wonders. These are startups that are quite interesting. The first one is LumaChain. So this is a computer vision platform that uses real-time monitoring in meat and food processing plants. Super niche. Now the next one is Nautilus, an all-in-one CRM and marketing tool built specifically for car washes. Again, super niche. And the last one, which is Serene. It's basically where vocalists can generate their own voice and license it for music and commercial projects. Yeah, so that's it. Now I need to wrap this up quickly because if I keep this closing part too long, you guys gonna leave this video and it messes with my average view duration. So yeah, bye.